Hi everybody, this is Crystal. So today I'm going to show you how to make this basket here with the little wipes in it. This is made out of jute, and you don't have to use it for the little wipes. You can use it for anything that you want to put in it. But I put little these little wipes in it. So they're made with cotton, so you can wet them down and use them for your face, use them for baby. Wipe things with them or whatever, and then put them in the washer and keep reusing them over and over again. These wipes are about 3.5 inches by about 3.5 inches long, so they're small mini wipes. But yeah, they're can pretty much use them for anything that you would use a washcloth for, to wash with. They're just miniature size, and I got in this basket just to store them in. You can make as many of these as you want. I use 2 different colors. I don't think I said in the video, but I used beige and then off-white, but you can use any colors that you want, and you can make as many as you want also. Also, I'm going to take a minute to please ask you not to forget to like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, don't forget to hit the bell. That way you never miss one of my tutorials whenever I put one on. So let's go ahead and get started on this. It's really pretty easy. Okay, for this project, I am using Premier Home Cotton. It is a 85% cotton, 15% polyester blend. You can use this or any 100% cotton that you like. This one's just a little bit, I think, on the softer side because it has that polyester in it. But a 100% cotton would work also. And you'll get about 120 yards on one of these skeins, and you'll get about 10 of the little wipes per skein. So it just depends on how many little wipes that you want to put in your little container. So you're going to need this, and then what you're going to need is some jute cord. It's 100% natural jute. There is 400 feet in this skein. It's size number 20, I guess considered a 2-ply. I'm not really sure how the measurements of jute goes. But it looks kind of like a 4-ply yarn to me. But anyways, jute wise, I guess it's a 2-ply or a number 20. And this will be plenty to make the basket that you need. And then you're going to need 2 different size of hooks. For the wipes, you'll need a size J, which is 6mm, and then for the jute basket you're going to need a size K, which is a 6.5mm crochet hook. Okay, when you crochet with jute, it's just the same as crocheting with yarn. Might be a little bit more difficult, I guess, but it's not really. But I'm going to start with a chain of 23. Now you can start with any number of chains for as wide as you want your little basket to be. But I'm starting with 23, and then I'm going to single crochet in the 2nd stitch from the hook, and then I'm going to put 1 single crochet in every stitch for the length of the chain. And what I'm starting on is the base of our little basket that's going to hold our wipes. So 1 single in every stitch until you get to the end of the chain. Okay, once you make it to the end of the row, it'll probably be kind of curled up, and that's fine. It'll straighten out the more rows you do. You should have a total of 22 stitches now. Now what we're going to do is this row is a single crochet. So we're going to chain 1 and turn, and we're going to single crochet right here in the very first stitch. And then I'm going to put 1 single crochet in every stitch for row 2 until we get to the end of the row. Just like that. Okay, I've made it to the end of row 2, and I still have my 22 stitches. So what I'm going to do now is just chain 1 and turn again, and I'm gonna, for row 3, I'm just going to keep repeating what we just did on row 2. 1 single crochet in every stitch. So right here in this first stitch, single crochet, and then 1 single crochet in every stitch across until you get to the end of the row. And now we're just going to keep repeating this until we get the base as wide as we want it to be. Just rows of single crochet. And you should always have 22 stitches at the end of every row. Okay, I went ahead and did 10 rows for my base. So now what we're going to do, don't tie off. We're going to work around it. So what we're going to do from where we ended after our 10th row, we're going to chain 1. Now we're going to work 1 single crochet down the side here. So you can kind of see, I just go kind of like right into the last single crochet. Single crochet into it. And the next row right there in that hole. Just like that. And then the next one right here. I kind of go right around the last single crochet at the end of the row. Through that hole there. Okay, and then when you get to your last stitch here, down here, go ahead and put 2 single crochets into that last stitch. And then we'll work across the long side, putting 1 single crochet in every stitch. Jute sure is pretty, and jute in stuff like jute, like hemp and stuff, but the twine, it's not hard to do, but it does give your hands a little bit of a workout. Just keep going here until you get to the end here of this row. And when you get to the last stitch here, go ahead and put 2 single crochets into that last, or into this corner stitch here. And now I'm going to work my way up this short side again. 1 single crochet in every stitch. Some of it's hard to get through. Some of it's thicker than others, so here, I'll go down a little bit. There we go. I'll probably make it look like it's hard, but it's not really that hard. And then when you get up here to this corner, you just want to put 2 single crochets up here into this first corner up here. And then just continue across the top until you were putting 1 single crochet in every stitch until you get back to where you started. Okay, when you're coming back around to your starting point, your last stitch here, you want to put 2 single crochets into the last stitch here up in the corner. Like that. Now you should have 66 stitches now. If you don't have that number, it's alright. As long as you have somewhere close to that. It's not a big deal. You're not going to even be able to tell. So as long as you have somewhere close to 66, what we're going to do now is you're going to need some type of stitch marker. just going to use a piece of yarn. And you want to place it right here. Now what we're going to do is jump over to the first single crochet we made, which is right here. Here's the chain 1 that we did. We don't want to go into that. We want to go into the first single crochet, and we're going to single crochet into the back loop only. So you see how there's 2 loops. This one, the closest to us, is the front loop. Back here is the back loop. Go right in to the back loop only and single crochet. Now I'm going to put 1 single crochet in the back loop only of every stitch around. So there's no more doing any extra stitches at the corners now. So we're just going to do 1 single crochet, back loop only, all the way around until we get back to our stitch marker. Might be kind of tight to get around the corners, but and as you can see, it's kind of creating a ridge there, and now our piece will start to go up a little bit the more rows we do. But I'm going to continue around putting 1 single crochet, back loops only, until I get back to my stitch marker. Okay, I made it back around to my stitch marker, and I still have my 66 stitches. Now remember, if you have a different number than me, that's fine, but you still should have the same number that you had, whatever number you had before on the last round. So go ahead and pull your stitch marker up and move it up like that. And now we're just going to be working through both loops. This is a normal single crochet. Through both loops, just jump to the next stitch and single crochet. We're not just going through the back loop, we're going through both loops. So just normal rounds of single crochet now. And this will build up the basket. The more rounds we do, it should start to stand up a little bit better. So we're just going to continue doing rounds of 1 single crochet in every stitch. And when we make it back to the stitch marker, you still should have 66 or whatever number that you had. I'll have 66 at the end of every round. I'll move my stitch marker up, and then I'll keep going around again. And we keep doing this until we get our basket as tall as we want it to be. And remember, the more rounds that we do, the more it'll start to stand up straight and be more basket-like. Right now it's probably kind of floppy, but I'm just going to keep doing rounds now of 1 single crochet in every stitch, moving my stitch marker up at the end of every round. Okay, I've gone ahead and done 8 rounds of single crochet. So 8 rounds, and that is counting the one we did in the back post. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But you can do more if you want to make yours taller or whatever. But once you make it back to the stitch marker, you want to go ahead and slip stitch into the next stitch and pull off a tail, long tail, and clip that off. Scissors here. And then you can move that stitch marker out. Now we're going to weave this in the top a couple times, back and forth those top stitches. But we're going to go to the top again, so just a couple times is good, and then I'll crochet in the rest of it. Okay, now you're going to take your regular cotton yarn, and you're going to go from, you're not going to be using your size K anymore. We're going to go down to our J hook for our regular yarn. And now we're going to go around the top of it. Now you can start your yarn anywhere you want. I'll probably just kind of start near an edge, corner edge, but anywhere is fine. Just go into a stitch and chain 1, go back into that same stitch and single crochet. Now what we're going to do is put single crochet in every stitch around with our regular yarn all around the top. I'll tell you what, after working with that jute, this yarn kind of feels like silk going through your fingers. It is feels a lot better, that's for sure. But just continue working around, putting one single crochet in every stitch across the top of your little box here until you get back to your starting point, and you still should have your 66 stitches or whatever, however many stitches you had. I had 66. So I'm just going to continue around until I get back right over here to where I started. Okay, when you make it back around to your starting point, you just want to end with the slip stitch into your first single crochet, and now your box is done. Your jute box made out of jute. Now you want to go ahead and just hide that tail, and now we'll start making the, that's pretty cute, the wipes to go in it, if that's what you want it for. You don't even have to put wipes in it. You can use this for anything after you get all your tails hidden. Put whatever you want in it, potpourri or anything. But I'll show you how to make the wipes real quick if that's what you want to do. Okay, these little wipes are easy. Just start with slip knot on your hook. They're just all single crochet too, so they're pretty easy. You want to start with a chain of 13. Okay, and then you want to put one single crochet in the second stitch from the hook, and then one single crochet in every stitch until you get to the end of the row. Okay, when you make it to the end of row 1, you should have a total of 12 stitches now. Now what we're going to do is chain 1, turn our work, and we're going to single crochet right here in this very first stitch. And this is row 2 now. It's just one single crochet in every stitch across until you get to the end of the row. Okay, I've made it to the end of row 2, and row 3 is just going to be a repeat of row 2. You just chain 1 and turn, one single crochet in this very first stitch, and one single crochet in every stitch across. Now you should have a total of 12 stitches at the end of every row that you do. So it's just rows of single crochet. We're on row 3 now, and when you make it to the end, you should have 12 stitches still. You chain 1 and turn, and continue one single crochet in every stitch, and we're going to do this for a total of 10 rows. So I'm going to get my 10 done, and then I will meet back up with you. Okay, once you get your 10 rows done, don't tie off. What we're going to do is chain 1 after that 10th row. We're going to go around it all in single crochet. So we're just going to go right in to the next stitch on the side. So it's kind of like in between the last 2 single crochets at the end of every row. If you look, you can see the hole there. I'm going to do this all the way down the side here. And then this last stitch here, right up here that starts the new row, you want to go ahead and put 2 single crochets into that stitch. And now we're going to continue across the long side, putting 1 single crochet in every stitch. Till you get to the other corner. And when you make it to the other corner here, it's just 2 single crochets into that stitch. And then you start working 1 single crochet in every stitch up the side, just like we did. And we're just going to continue this all the way around until we get back to the beginning. 2 single crochets in every corner, and then 1 single crochet in all the remaining stitches. I guess I'm almost there. I'll just keep going. Okay, when you get up to this corner, which is the first stitch of this row, go ahead and put 2 single crochets into that one. And then work your way 1 single crochet in every stitch across this last top here. And when you get to the last stitch here on the top, you want to put 2 single crochets into it, and then you want to end with the slip stitch into your first single crochet over here. This is the chain 1. You want to go to the first single crochet on the side, and then you can clip that off and hide that tail, and that will be your little wipe. If you want to make wipes for it, you can make as many as you want to fill up your basket. That's up to you. But that's it. Hide that tail. So I'm going to go ahead and make a few more wipes here. Okay, once you get as many of these little pads done as you want, you can just put them in here, and that's it. I just had this flower. I got this flower off eBay, a whole bunch of them for really cheap, and I just hot glued it on. But that's it. That's all there is to it. I hope you enjoyed my tutorial. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Until next time, have a good day.